performance class and application of architectural grade aluminum windows. Welcome to Building Knowledge 101. Expand your knowledge of the classes and applications of architectural grade aluminum windows.
First document we need to understand is NAF 17. This is a North American Fenestration Standard specification for windows, doors, and skylights. NAF 17 basically looks at 5 primary performance evaluations. That is structural strength, which is wind load, snow load, forces applied against an elevation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Water penetration resistance, air leakage, operating force, and I say where appropriate because obviously in a fixed window, you're not going to have operating force. Same with forced entry resistance. That's only in operable units. So NAF 17 looks at these 5 evaluations. And then the next thing it does, which is very important, NAF 17 divides all windows into 4 different performance classes. And these performance classes are R for residential, LC for light commercial, CW for commercial window, and AW for architectural window. So we don't have this terminology in storefront and curtain walls. This is very new to people who've just gotten into the window market. But all products being evaluated by NAF 17 are going to fall into one of these 4 performance classes. So let's take a look at what those are. The first one is R, residential. And it's just what it sounds like. Single family homes, duplexes, lighter construction, lower performance, lower design pressures. This is typically wood frame construction, wood studs, and the windows are usually installed with nailing fins. And the last line there, not for public access. So when you think about a residential application, it's going to be operated by the same people day in and day out. So they are really concerned about operating the window in a way to maintain the window. They're not very abusive to it. So that's the residential. This is kind of the lowest performance standard. Moving up from that is LC or light commercial. So light commercial, start to think about, say, a doctor's office or office suites. It's low to mid-rise application, still wood construction in most cases, nailing fins being used to install the windows. Typically the same occupants, it's going to be whoever's in that office area is going to be operating the windows. So it's limited public access. Then moving up from that is commercial windows. So now start to think about larger units, larger windows, higher wind load requirements. We're moving from low to maybe mid-rise application. Since the windows are larger, now we're going to start talking about limiting deflection. So limiting deflection of the window under load. And then the highest performance class is what we call AW architectural windows. Now you're moving into mid to high-rise applications where your wind loads are going to get higher, increasing as you get higher up a building. You're going to have the greatest design loads against them, greatest forces applied to this one. They're going to be in the most harsh conditions. And when you think about this, this is a type of project where multiple people are going to be accessing the window. So it's not the same person all the time. It is exposed to the public. So think about a hospital, a university building. We're in a hospital room, you have different patients rotating through on a regular basis. In a university, multiple students moving through classrooms and meeting areas. So windows are operated by a large range of people who might not care whether they're using it aggressively or closing it carefully. So you're going to get a lot of different opportunities for abuse to these windows. So this is our highest performance level. Our windows residential are lighter. They're not going to be subjected to as much force and strain and pressures. And as you move up in performance class, AW being the highest for the highest, most demand, more stringent testing and stringent applications. So now looking at our outline again, let's talk about test standards and how we evaluate windows.
That is all we have time for in this video. If you'd like to watch more of our 101 video series, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Kawneer Company, Inc.